Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm sure some of you were in this comment section already. You ain't even watched 5 seconds of the video. You know, I played like 15, 16 hours of the game. And even though I agree with some of the discourse going on Twitter, I can't help but to like the game. I'm enjoying my time with the game. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Dragon Age Veilguard and just the discourse around the game entirely. You know, my experience with the game being 15, 16 hours into it. You know, in no way, shape, or form is this a review. You know, you can give your ideal if you want to buy this game off of just my opinions. That's perfectly fine. But I am not telling you that I beat the whole game, because I haven't. When it comes to Dragon Age, let's go into my history of Dragon Age. I played Dragon Age 1 and 2. I never beat Inquisition, but I've enjoyed my time with the Dragon Age franchise. You know, I remember some of the best situations that I've had has been with Dragon Age 1, especially 1. You know, I really liked Origins. Nothing against 2, but Origins just hit different to me. So when it comes to this situation, I, for one, have always been Team BioWare. I want BioWare to get back to the roots where they were. And a lot of these situations that's going on, especially with, you know, there being a trans character in the game, I don't really care about none of that stuff. You know, I've always went off of, I'm going to play your game, and I'm going to give my opinion on it regardless. Because my audience, they're going to want to hear my opinion on it. And, you know, when I got the game last week, I wanted to get a good amount of hours into it before I came in here and told you guys how I felt about it. And it's like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the game. I feel like it's a solid experience. You know, we will get to the elephant in the room later, but I want to talk about some of the stuff that, you know, have really stood out to me. The combat in this game, whoa. Look, most of the time I don't like when these RPGs go more action-based, but I did feel this game's fun to play, man. I'm playing a two-handed sword, Grey Warden, and, man, going through some of these trees. First off, shout out to BioWare that they're continuing this trend where RPGs let you reset your whole tree. Doesn't cost anything. If you decide you want to play a different way, you just reset that whole bastard and you respec. More games need to do that, in my opinion. More games need to have the option that if you don't want to play in the direction that you're playing, that you invest this stuff into a tree that you decided you didn't want later on, you can just refund that, put it into something else. I feel like that needs to be a standard practice in the industry, because there were so many times where like, okay, maybe I like the shield subclass more. I ended up going with the two-handed subclass more than anything, but because they gave me the option to do that, it's a lot nicer. And what I like about it too is they make it simple. They make it easy. It's very accessible. Yeah, there are some games that let you do it, but you have to like go to a certain area. Literally right there on the select screen with the skills. Press Y again, refunded every skill point. So shout out to that. First off, that's good. Fighting is very inconsistent sometimes, and I'm not saying like in a purely bad way. I just feel like sometimes like the animations on takedowns, which is like equivalent to like, you know, your big damage when you stagger them, I do feel like that needs to improve a little bit to a degree. You know, when I play something like this and I'm playing a takedown move, I expect it to be like very, very highly detailed, because those moves come when you put in work to get them. No real blood in this game, especially with the takedowns. Now, I don't know if necessarily that's just a direction. I feel like companies are trying to take more and more blood out of games, and that's perfectly fine, and I'm not going to disagree with that. If companies feel like they need to go more towards that direction to be more friendly to the general consumer, maybe it's, you know, Maybe it's a variety of reasons. I don't know. I do feel like gore is being took more and more out of games as time goes on. To me, still put that in there, but give you the option to turn it on or off. Because when I'm doing these highly detailed takedowns and I stab someone straight through the gut and I don't really see anything coming out of it, kind of takes immersion out of it a little bit for me. You know, not necessarily a bad thing, but, you know, I like that little extra bit of detail being in the game. Whoever did the environment for this game, I got to be honest with you, the environment of Dragon Age Veilguard is phenomenal. You know, you sitting here, you looking at the you know, you panning around looking at stuff. It just, sometimes I get lost in it. Now, it does have a weird art style, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm a little bit in the middle with it. There are some times I feel like my character's straight from Fortnite, though. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not necessarily a bad thing, but the way they went with the art style definitely feels, you know, once again, they're trying to make it appeal to as many people as possible. I don't know if, like, taking that more cartoony style is to attract that, like, that Fortnite audience, because let's be honest with you, Fortnite is so big. I can understand if you want to go after those style people. Totally get it. Sometimes the combat feels a little floaty. It is getting better after I unlock more and more stuff. But at the beginning, I did feel like it was extremely floaty. I don't like the crossroads either. For the people who don't know what the crossroads is, it's like the hub where you teleport from, you know, place to place. It's not nothing necessarily against it. I'm pretty sure, you know, you're going to use this this middle ground place to a huge thing. If anything, I feel like this game's more hub world than anything, which is okay. It's just like I feel like I should be able to just teleport to a section I want to teleport to without having to go through the crossroads. And sometimes you can, depending on if you've unlocked that actual teleportation device. A lot of stuff to breach in here, and that's really more of a nitpick than anything. You know, I think when it comes down to it, the biggest criticism I have for this game is the dialogue. Sometimes I feel like they give me options when they know for a fact those are the only options I have. Like, it would literally be the same option, just 3 different ways. And I'm just sitting here looking at them, and I'm just like, is there another way? Can I be a little bit more jerkish? Can I be a little bit more evil? You know, there are some dark tones still left in this game. You know, there's a scenario where, you know, someone's caught up in like some ill type of stuff. I don't want to like spoil anything. And you pretty much choose whether this dude lives or dies. So those decisions are there, but I haven't felt like they're really pushed on you when it comes to, you know, if you want to be good or bad. And I think for the most part, especially Western RPGs, in my opinion, that's where they've really flourished. You know, whether or not you want to, you know, save a village or condemn a village, or, you know, a lot of the times they'll give you like a middle route where you could give both of them what they want. Takes more work. Maybe you have to fight something strong, but they give you those options to do that. And I haven't felt that way to this degree, to that degree in this game. Now, there was a selection where there's 2 places being attacked, and I got to choose which one to save. And even though this was a cool little ability, cool little choice, and I did like the mission that followed whatever that choice was, I would have appreciated some way to maybe take that illusion out of it, because it did feel like no matter what I did, I was going to upset someone. And that's generally how these type of decisions go. But it's like the everyday conversations in this game when you're talking to someone. Like I said, sometimes there will be conversations where, like I said, they will be having the same response, just disguised in different ways. And I'm sitting here reading through these, and I just don't understand why give me the illusion of choice when pretty much every choice is the same. And that's not the majority of the game. That's just what I've experienced so far. I have come across some, you know, decent decisions, and that's good. You know, let's get down to the nitty gritty. There's clearly an agenda being pushed on here. I don't have no problems with that. I have a problem with the way that it was described. the way that it was implemented, the way that it was executed, part of me, and this is just my opinion, I'm just someone outside looking in, part of me feels like the dialogue was affected by whatever, you know, message they were trying to send. And I'm not saying they were deliberately trying to send you a message. Obviously, when you got writers that's experienced some of these, their writing is going to be different than someone that hasn't experienced it. But I feel like Dragon Age has always been quote unquote woke. You know, I don't necessarily like saying the woke thing, but it's always been woke. You know, what's funny is when people say Fable is woke. Fable's always been woke. They've always, you know, handled sensitive subjects in the industry, or not the industry, and just in cultural in general. They've always done it. You know, you've always been able to be gay, to fool around with anyone you want to for the most part. I remember in Dragon Age 1, there was only like so many people you could fool around with if you was like coming at it from like a gay perspective or a lesbian perspective, but they always let you. But I think the disconnect here is the writing just doesn't feel genuine. It feels forced to a degree. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, I don't like the discourse that if you speak out against it, you're racist, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, because I don't think that's genuine. Are there people in this industry that is hijacking a very sensitive conversation and they're disguising their real intentions by using this? Of course. And I don't think no one's going to disagree with that. I think most people, unless you are one of those people, you're going to agree that that is being done. But we got to do a better job at realizing there are people in the middle that don't necessarily care, people like such myself. Look, even though I do believe that BioWare is pushing some agendas on people, and it's not necessarily pushing agendas, I just feel like they got to do a better job at making it feel more native and making it feel more genuine, just more natural in these games. You know, in my personal opinion, you know, when you have these conversations, I feel like there's no pushback. You know, if you feel that way about that, that's fine. If you don't feel that way, that's fine. But to me, Dragon Age has always been about dialogue, going back and forth with the NPCs, with your companions. Sometimes you will make a decision that your companions don't like that they will tell you. And to me, I haven't really came across too many of these. And I do think people are blowing the trans character out of proportion. Look, is there some scenes in Dragon Age Veilguard that's, you know, a little suspect? Yeah. You know, I would say the push-up scene's kind of crazy. But I wouldn't say those select few scenes is worth condemning the whole game. That's just my opinion. Even if you are against having these characters in your game, which is wild to me. I feel like the best media has perspectives of every cultural known to man. That's just my opinion. You wouldn't have Barbershop if it was made by white people. You know, you gotta have that different cultures, because sometimes other cultures, they just do it better. I'm gonna be real with you. There are some certain things that I could not imagine Ice Cube not being in Barbershop. And I feel like to only want like one race to do everything is just whack to me. That's why, you know, if you're a racist piece of shit, walk out somewhere. I think we can all agree on that. But I think there's a lot of people that's like myself that's just like not really feeling that. But I'm not going to condemn the whole game. Guys, I'm enjoying Veilguard. I stayed up till like 3 or 4 in the morning last night playing Veilguard. I'm enjoying my time with it. And I do think that there is some agendas, maybe not necessarily, like I said, being pushed. It's just feel like they needed to have done the writing better. And, you know, you can make the perspective, and I think you can make the argument if you were on that one side that's like, look, like, is the dialogue bad because they were trying to make sure that you heard these messages in the dialogue? I don't know. I don't work at BioWare. I wasn't in those rooms. But the thing is when you give people the illusion that it may or may not have happened, people are going to assume for themselves. And some of the dialogue feels a little out of place. Not going to lie on that. But it's not that I beg. I feel like people need to calm the hell down. You know, if you feel a way about it, I'm not going to tell anyone that they shouldn't stand on their grounds. Stand on your ground. But you maybe need to have some self-reflection that is one companion in a game with some dialogue on that companion in a game worth you not playing that game. If you feel yes, like I said, stand your ground. But for me, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth not playing a game, especially something like Dragon Age, because it under all of that, and there are a couple questionable scenes in a 40, 50 hour game. If you're going to trip over maybe 20, 30 minutes, then maybe gaming isn't for you. Because to me, I'm a gamer at heart. And even though I will agree with you guys that the dialogue could have done a lot better with these type of, these type of situations, I'm not going to condemn the whole game because they, in my opinion, could have done the dialogue better. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be upset. Don't matter what I said. I always give my opinion on these things. It doesn't matter what anyone says. I'm always going to come in here, even if it's right or wrong, and give you my opinion on this stuff. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel. I'm very curious you guys' opinion on this. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely sub. We make weekly content over here. At the end of the day, it's about games, guys. And Dragon Age Veilguard is a fun game. Now, obviously, is there stuff I disagree with? Yes, but that's with every other damn game in the industry. Besides Metaphor, that game's perfect. See you guys.